What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about WB Montreal's second game. What it could be, what I hope for it, when it could come out, all of those kind of things. I kind of want to start with the when that normally jumps out at me the most, and it's also one of the more interesting things, right? Because you think to this Montreal team, and obviously they've had quite a stretch of no releases up until, obviously, Gotham Knights. And there were other games there. Remember, it seems like at least 2 games, if not more, probably 3, were canceled in the lead up to Gotham Knights. So it wasn't like they were just sitting there, fiddling their thumbs for 9 years. And we know that really the team that's there now is very, very, very different than the team that was there, say 9 years ago when Arkham Origins was happening. So, or even I guess before that when they were in the creative process of it. But really that should end. I mean, this should be the end of it. And that is maybe what's most exciting. Whether you like or hate Gotham Knights or somewhere in the middle, and whichever way is totally fine. We need more DC games, okay? We definitely need more. Really, they need to get out there, and I'm talking about Warner Bros., needs to get out there and just start handing them out to teams that want them besides the ones that are owned. So you're not waiting on, Montreal. You're not waiting on Rocksteady. You're not waiting, I guess, on Monolith. You need to hand them out to other teams. And this is, I guess, a step not necessarily in that direction. I think they're doing other things for that. But this is a step in, if you could expand the studios to make 2 games at once, then that's the best thing that you could possibly do. So the when is interesting because we don't really know how long this game has been in development for. Now, you can go back to like job postings and even theories and discussions of at least 2 years ago. But I guess the reason why I talk about it's a little cloudy is because we don't know fully how these teams are organized. Unless the studios are like incredibly well set and it's kind of just like casual procedure that these things exist, normally you don't get that much of talk on them, right? Like Insomniac, you know that they have their teams and everything seems very, very, not like divided, but they seem like they're individual and you can understand that. A team like WB Montreal, a little bit more, like cloudy, where we don't necessarily know if both the teams are the same size. We know they've been hiring, right? They've been hiring for the Gotham Knights team for a very long time, and they still were for quite a bit. But they've also been hiring for the second team for an incredibly long time. Again, at least 2, if not longer, years, 2.5 years. And, we don't know if maybe some of the Gotham Knights team is going to go and help their game. There's a lot of things that are all messy. And the reason I spend so much time on this is because that does affect the when. If there is a full-fledged second team that's like beginning to end, it's been a full team. Well, really, I don't think we're going to have to wait all that long for their next game. People have been asking me, and Wonder Woman, I really hope can come out within the next couple years, but obviously you got Suicide Squad next year. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they were planning another DC game, not Injustice. Maybe you get Injustice 3 as well, right? There's another one, but if you could shoot for in 2024, either Wonder Woman or WB Montreal's second game, I'd say that sounds about right to me. And let's say even without that, even if we want to be a little bit more pessimistic, by 2025, we'd get the second WB Montreal game. And again, like the rolling, like having the 2 teams constantly going, this Gotham Knights team, you'd imagine, gets another game going. Unless they support Gotham Knights for an incredibly long time, then that slows them down. But maybe another 3-4 years for them, and then we get another game from that studio. So hopefully they got a good thing going. We're not going to really know until the ball starts rolling and we see how quick this second game gets announced and revealed and all that stuff. But I really hope, 2 years, if you give them 2 years and they've been around for 2.5 years, that's 4 years. That's 4.5, then you're moving on to 5 years if you want to give them a little bit more time. So hopefully this time, 2 years from now in 2024, maybe we have the second game from them. So that's that part of it. Now, what is it? Well, the way I have approached it, again, we all have kind of our wants list, right? I've been saying for a long time. Well, actually, I've been saying for a long time I wanted Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman in terms of, so Superman is one that jumps out, but in terms of individual DC characters, besides Superman, Wonder Woman has always been my go-to. It was my go-to 2 years ago, when I think I did a video with Slickmoff, maybe on both of our channels, where we talked about this, and I remember Wonder Woman literally being one of my, wants, and we're getting that. We're just not getting it from them, so that's totally cool. We get what I want. Now, what else is there? Well, obviously Superman. Does WB Montreal have what it takes to make a Superman game? I don't know. I don't know if they would be my first pick. Also, what I've talked about in past videos does come into play here. Honestly, I think their games are going to be kind of the same. They're kind of like, they'll feel similar. And that shouldn't be shocking or, off-putting or anything like that, because just because it's a second team, I believe they are going to be using a different engine. I'm pretty sure that's confirmed in job postings. But I do think in terms of how it functions, it'll borrow, and they'll both borrow from each other, a lot of the same things. So I'm not saying it's a Gotham Knights 2, but I think it'll feel somewhat like Gotham Knights. That's my prediction. Maybe it's completely off the rails in a good way, and it's something completely different. I just think both these teams in the same studio, that kind of sounds a little weird to say it like that, right? But you know what I mean. There's two different teams. I think the games are gonna kind of reflect that they come from the same stuff. And so for that, I gotta lean more towards like a co-op thing, right? I feel like you kind of have to. Superman, obviously we want it. I don't know if that's the team for it. Wonder Woman is out because we got it from Monolith. I've talked about like Aquaman, I think would be really cool, but again, that's a solo thing. I mean, could you do like a Justice League game? Yeah, but you got Suicide Squad kill a Justice League, and that's, that has been a debatable topic where it's like, well, does that take away the Justice League now permanently from being a game together? Also, if you did a Justice League game, well, would you want a Justice League game or would you want them split up first? So we've had a bunch of Batman games. And we're going to get a Wonder Woman. Like, would you want an Aquaman game? Like, do you have to do it like the movies where you should have them individual first and then you get them together? It's a question. I don't actually have, an answer, or my answer may be different than your answer. So honestly, though, Teen Titans is still the one that pops up into my head. I really think Teen Titans makes a lot of sense. You could do it with you could do it literally with the framework of Gotham Knights. You could use characters. I mean, it makes so much sense to me to do Teen Titans. Now, that could be what the Gotham Knights team does. Maybe it's not the team that's working on it right now. Maybe it's going to be the Gotham Knights team that eventually does it. But I think Teen Titans, something cooperative, whether it be 2-player or 4 players. I know Teen Titans have more than 4, but maybe you make it work where you can only have 4 at a time. I don't know. 4 is like kind of like that magic number. Could you do 5+? Maybe, but as of right now, 4 seems to be that kind of magic number for the game industry. We'll see, but ultimately, I do think it's going to go in that direction. I don't know about the single player kind of just one hero. Obviously, you could talk about one other thing. There is one other potential idea or suggestion. A game like an Arkham Origins, maybe not necessarily being remade, but remastered, would make fans, I think, incredibly happy. Or, I mean, are we at the point yet? Because we've gotten games remade that are younger than, some of these. Have we gotten to the point where we'd like to take a look at the Arkham games? And could you have like a service team almost in Montreal? Could you have them be the ones to do it? So I guess what I mean by that is, could you go on like a tour of remaking? And I said that word, remake, Batman Arkham Asylum, and then you could do City, and then Origins. There's always the debate about remake versus remaster and what needs it and what doesn't need it. I totally get that. It's just an idea. I know people want at least a remaster for Origins, a very streamlined way of playing it modern day. I think it deserves it. Next year is the 10-year anniversary. I mean, that would be an idea. If the second team is simply there to almost just bring back the past, which is not that uncommon because you're seeing remasters and remakes being done literally like every day in the gaming industry. I mean, could you do it? Yeah, I think one team in Montreal, the Gotham Knights team, makes the new ones. The other team maybe just fully is a remake remaster. I mean, I could buy that. I don't know if I get the sense that's not going to happen. I don't think that's what's happening, but I'm not going to throw it away because I do think that's a possibility. And at the very least, maybe you could have something for Arkham Origins next year. For 10-year anniversaries are special, and not everybody celebrates it. many, companies don't celebrate it by doing remasters or remakes, but you could, and it makes a lot of sense, and people have been asking for it for a long time, so we'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think. What do you think the second game they're working on is? Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. All my social media links are in the description below, including our Patreon and YouTube memberships. I hope to see you all on the next one.